Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Never Work podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm. Hello. It's Maurice. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope everyone is doing well today. I hope everyone has adjusted well to the transition for school, for those that are parents. Even for those of you that are students, I hope that your transition for school not being in the place that has been all these years, as far as we've been alive, of, hey, going to the store, picking up our clothes and sneakers and school supplies, waking up on a beautiful August or September morning, and it's the first day of school. You get to wear your new stuff. And just being able to have something to look forward to. I know some of us that did not like going to school. We weren't always ready for the first or second day of school, but by the time we got into a flow and we were there and things like that, not saying myself, but for those of us that did not feel comfortable in school, eventually we got back into the flow. So today, as we're looking into the future and just being able to adjust to what's going on, I think that we need to be aware of what our challenges are and what is our greatest fear as of today. I do believe that one of our greatest fears is not being able to get back to the way things used to be. As I speak to a lot of people today, over the last couple of days and weeks, people are really afraid and they're really nervous of what the future holds because of the state of normalcy that we've become so accustomed to is really breaking apart. And a lot of times what we don't know or what we don't realize and we don't recognize is we've asked for a change. We've been asking for a change for such a long time. Now that it's here, some of us do not know how to deal with this. So I ask you today, what is your individual greatest fear? What is your greatest fear? And one of the things that I believe for myself is being not remembered, or being in a place where I'm not remembered after I die. I want to make an impact on this world. I want to leave an imprint. I want to leave a legacy. That's my greatest fear. My greatest fear is not being able to have something for my children after I'm gone that's going to last for generations on end. And sometimes in this state that we're in, there's especially the state of uncertainty. It's a time for us to build up what we need to build up and become who we are meant to be, who we've dreamed to be, what we desire to be. I challenge you today to do that. Conquering your greatest fear. So for me, in this conquering my greatest fear of not being remembered, I've had to reevaluate even how I do this podcast. I've had to evaluate what my brand looks like. I've had to revisit my relationships with my friends, my family. I've had to even reevaluate my faith, what I believe in, reevaluate my health. I've had to reevaluate everything that's been about me. And in that's not sometimes it has not been the greatest thing, the greatest feeling to understand that, hey, I'm not who I want to be. I'm not who I need to be. I'm not who I desire to be. And that is a hard pill to swallow. So as we move forward with this podcast, the format, the structure, the vibe, the energy is going to be different than where it's been in the past. And I hope that all of you are supporting me in this as we move forward. I appreciate those that have been really, really supporting the Women Empowerment Wednesday with one of our hosts on here, Coach Latoya. Y'all have really been knocking it out the park. So what I want to say is that how do you conquer this fear? So as I look at myself as an individual, I have to understand what has been my influence, my greatest influence on my life. As most of you know, some of you know, this week, the day after this airs, on September the 2nd, I would have been married for 20 years. So in this milestone of life, I have been reevaluating where I am and being remembered and what is this legacy. So in conquering all of my fears and all of my self-doubt, I've had to dig real deep in within myself to understand where I am and who I am. And understand that a lot of my shortcomings have been placed within me over the years. Whether it's been people who have doubted me, persons who have criticized me, and not being able to feel free in who Maurice really is. And some of that has to deal with conquering some real crazy family situations. So I challenge you, all of you, to even look into yourselves about how your family actually influences you and how you move forward. What have been said to you when you was a child, which is some of the things that I've had to really take a hard look at. What things have been said to you as a child that influences you today? So one of the things that I put pressure on myself about was not being average. But when you take a look at not being average, what does that really mean? What does average mean? Because in reality, I don't believe that there is a true example of being average. We make up what could be average, but everybody's average is different. So, question, is being average middle class? There's a lot of people in the middle class. Is that average? There are some of us that are upper middle class, lower middle class, but we're all middle class. So are we average? So I've had to look at that and understand that for me in my life, I was always pushed not to be average, to be better than. And so I've put more pressure on myself to be great, to live up to this expectation. But I've never understood as I've been questioning myself, what is that real expectation? So am I really accomplishing what was put on to me as a youngster? And I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like that I am. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like that. This is what was destined for me, to be so concerned about what other people have to say and have other people really direct my life. I've been living for other people, not living for myself. So again, greatest fear being not being remembered. Not being remembered means that, hey, you're not going to be average, because most average people are not remembered after they die. Unfortunately, we've had a great, great, great actor pass away this week. Actually, we've had quite a few great people that pass away, but for those of you that's in the African American community, we've experienced a tremendous loss with Brother Chadwick Boseman. Here's the reality. Over the last 7 years, we've really gotten to know him, see his work. But for those of us who've noticed his work throughout the whole time of him being an actor, understanding his background, where he's come from, hey, he has been fabulous throughout this whole time, and he has truly transcended himself into something where his name will be remembered long, long after. And it's not just because of, such a great movie being in Black Panther and it being, I believe, the 4th or 5th highest grossing movie ever, and it dispelling the doubts that an all African American cast can transcend numbers across the globe. And it shattered numbers, and it did fabulous. And, we have to commend one of the major networks for even just showing Black Panther the other night without any commercials, paying tribute to this young man. But what people are not talking about that goes beyond that is his philanthropy, those actors and actresses whom he have groomed over the years, that has gone way above and beyond the traditional person. So for what I mean by that is, he's taking people underneath his wing. He's been sending out motivational notes and speeches and things like that, and really embodying a human being, not someone who's Black, not someone who's affluent, just being a human being of reaching out and helping people, period. And that's one of the things that, as I sit back and think about being average, as I sit back and think about being remembered, yeah, it'd be great to be remembered by how much money I've made, or as some people are trying to get their name put onto onto Mount Rushmore, or my name being put in lights. But there's a phrase, only what you do for Christ will last. So let me ask you this. What are you doing that's going to be remembered? How are you going to help the next person? How are you going to transcend beyond just having money and wealth and fame? Are you helping someone else out? Are you going to be someone who's going to be remembered beyond today because of your good works that help someone get to somewhere else? Because here's the key. He's not going to die as long as someone continues to speak his name. he's not going to die. And that mindset, I had to listen to Roland Martin. I believe it was Saturday night. He was talking about that. He said, think about this. Martin Luther King still lives. Not just what he said, his speeches and things like that, but he still lives because we keep him alive. We do. Chadwick Boseman will continue to stay alive because we're going to speak about him furthermore. So, will someone speak your name moving forward? So, Roland Martin, he was making a point that each and every one of us has an opportunity to become greater, get out of our box, separating yourself from whatever your greatest fear is. Your greatest fear is what keeps you in your box. When do you break open that box and become who you need to be and what you are destined to be, and what's going to influence your circle to become even bigger, better, and greater than what they were yesterday? It might take you. I know for me, is I'm one of those persons that is a little more outgoing and supportive and try to tell everyone, hey, you can make it, you could do it. And I'm telling you right now, those of you that are listening, you can be the one that's going to break these chains. You can be the one that's going to enhance your not just your living situation, but your neighbors, your community, your family, your section of the country, your state, your world. You can be the change. We need to become, each and every one of us can be a change maker. So, as I talked about earlier about change, that we wanted change and we asked for change. See, President Obama talked about hope. Jesse Jackson has been talking about hope. For all these years, we keep talking about hope, which inspires change, which inspires these moments that we're going through of upheaval, which rocks the foundation of whatever is going on. And the foundation is not liking this but so much right now. So we all have a role to play in all of this. So your name can live on as a change maker today if you just make up your mind and just get up and do it. If you just make up your mind and conquer your greatest fear. So I challenge you to sit down, think about what your greatest fear is. What's the contributing factors to that? And let's work on it. Let's work on it together. I hope that today's episode will help you become a better person, conquering your greatest fear. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to today. Be sure to share on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Chisholm Group, ChismGroup. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, I'm on Pinterest, LinkedIn. So please be sure to follow and share. I appreciate each and every one of you today. And please, please, please figure out your greatest fear and let's conquer it together. You can always share it and we could talk it through. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Loved what what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.